you're lucky enough to be in France these days, you know that, well, it feels a little springy, and
it's beautiful.
It's so beautiful. It's making the front page of Aujourd'hui en France. It says that le printemps, c'est maintenant.
Beautiful.
Springtime is right now, and it's 2 weeks early. According to Aujourd'hui en France, not only are temperatures rising, people's spirits are getting a boost as well. I know, puts a smile on my face, but fingers crossed it'll last.
All right, moving on to more serious news now. It's 2 weeks early, and the focus as well on the upcoming municipal elections that are scheduled at the end of this month.
That's right. Now, we've been hearing so much about these municipal elections, and yesterday was the very last day that parties could declare their candidates in various races. But the Huffington Post points out that not everybody is feeling excited about these elections, and it interviews actually this candidate, this man named Bernard Vidal. He's running for re-election even though he doesn't want to. This is what the title says, candidat malgré lui, so he's a candidate despite himself. Why on earth would he run if he didn't want to? Well, it's because nobody else entered the race, and he says that he didn't want to abandon his village to some sort of guardianship of a bigger administration, basically getting it swallowed up in a bigger administration. So he really took one for the team here. But the Huffington Post points out that 64 other villages across France don't have any candidate in the first round.
Interesting. Now, a lot of French papers moving out now. A lot of French papers are focused on tensions in Ukraine over Crimea. It's our top story here as well.
Absolutely. Libération has just one word on the front page today: escalation of the tensions there. Now, this comes after the Crimea parliament voted to join Russia and set a date for a referendum. Moscow saying that it's going to think about this, much to the annoyance of the West, says Libération. Now, La Croix focuses on the fact that all this is coming as the Paralympics are kicking off in Sochi with that opening ceremony tonight that will be presided by Vladimir Putin. So you can see the title here. It says, Tension in Crimea, but there's some sort of a truce for sports.
Now, tensions between Russia and the West over Ukraine are also leading the story in the international press.
That's right. Let's take a look at the front page of the Wall Street Journal today that says that Crimea moves ahead with this secession vote. And in its editorial, the Wall Street Journal takes a look at what America can do about all this and talks about America's oil and gas leverage. According to the Wall Street Journal, a shrewder president would really use this to reduce Putin's influence. And it's interesting to note that for once, the New York Times agrees with the Wall Street Journal, the conservative paper. It also talks about natural gas as a diplomatic tool and talks about how lawmakers and energy companies are really trying to push the U.S. to export more natural gas to Europe in an effort to undercut Russia's influence. Now, staying with the New York Times, but the international version, I pulled out a cartoon that kind of looks at a lighter side of all this. And you can see Russia's naked aggression, and it's basically Vladimir Putin in boxer shorts.
All right, thanks very much, Florence Villamino, for that look at the papers. A quick reminder of our headlines if you're just joining us. Slapping